My dog, sorry.
Ashlee, you've been in the news.
Unfortunately, I have.
Okay, so what's going on here? I woke up to this story, a bizarre story to say the least. I don't know if everyone knows about it, but it's being reported on multiple outlets. It's all over Reddit. Tell us what happened, Ashlee.
Yeah, this situation has caught fire very quickly. I think because a lot of us have a lot of free time on our hands, unfortunately. It's really sad that we're kind of putting a lot of attention on the situation just because there's a lot bigger things going on. But it was a misunderstanding. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with an app called OfferUp. It's basically like a free cycle or an app where you get rid of things and get rid of things and pick things up in exchange. So anyway, I'm doing a lot of spring cleaning as one of the few things you can do while you're quarantined. I built my gym in my garage, and so I'm looking for what's it called, storage units and all that. So we see a dresser that's free about 45 minutes away, and me and my boyfriend go pick this up. And I had talked to this woman saying, she said, come pick this dresser up, don't knock on the door, obviously for understandable reasons. And we go there, load the dresser into my car, which was posted on her social media, so it looks very shady because it's like I'm in black and me and my boyfriend are like picking the dresser up, but we've already established with this woman to pick the dresser up. And then next to the free dresser is a small basket. And in my mind and also my boyfriend's mind, not thinking, I guess, we mistakenly grabbed this basket of items thinking it might be parts for the dresser, whatnot. Craziness is going on. We're out doing errands. Anyway, we grabbed the basket as well. Unbeknownst to us, inside the basket were medical supplies, just a mask and some gloves for what we didn't know at the time for hospital workers. I didn't really know or care what was in the basket. Just my mistake was taking this basket and just assuming it was kind of like in addition to this dresser that we had already agreed was a free item. So anyway, driving around for a couple hours, and when I get home, there is this huge social media witch hunt, kind of like storm brewing. And I log onto my OfferUp app because it's not like text message, it's not my Instagram. I'm not checking this app regularly because I'm not always spring cleaning during the quarantine. What had happened was the woman was irate with me and was messaging me nonstop, you're a thief and all this stuff. And I honestly did not know that this box contained these things, but she had assumed that I stole them intentionally and was not going to give them back. So I blocked her initially because unfortunately I've been in the MMA world for a long time and had to deal with a lot of mean, nasty comments from people who are fans or not fans. But my reaction now is whenever I see anything hostile is block, delete. Because I was on earlier and you heard Till talk about if you get upset when someone calls you, you should have basically thicker skin. So I don't have thick skin. I'm very emotional. I'm very affected by what people say to me. I'm just a big mushy mush ball, whatever. And so I blocked this woman right away. And that might have been the second mistake, because instead of going through her comments and kind of seeing the situation, I blocked her right away. Now, one of the people that contacted me after this whole social media storm had started was a friend named Carmen. And I sent you those screenshots. I don't know if you got them. But this woman was very nice and sincere and was like, explained the situation, was like, hey, that basket you took was medical supplies for the doctors or whatever she was accumulating these masks for. And then I realized, wow, like that's the last thing I want to do right now is number one, steal. Number two, steal from these amazing doctors that are risking their lives during this pandemic. So I messaged her friend back saying, please, I will gladly give these items back. It was a mistake that night. And I said that. And she said, let me contact, my friend. So then all this craziness back and forth is going on. In the time, she calls us and we let her know that we're willing to give the items back, but there was some hostility back and forth, because she was upset that I blocked her. I don't think she understood that what I have to deal with during, leading up to fights and the scrutiny and after fights of, win or lose, you're always going to get someone saying you suck or blah, 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 right? So anyway, the police were called. She called the police. But at this point, we had already told her friend, and I send you the messages, it's time stamped and everything. We were giving the items back. And the police called and said, is this Ashlee Evans-Smith? You took these items? And I said, yes, I did, but it was a mistake. And I will gladly come return these items. The police said, we understand, bring them back in the morning. And I said, no, I want to bring them back tonight and get this over with. We drove another hour back. It was pouring down rain this night. It was Sunday night. gave them back to the officer. The officer almost jokingly, was understanding, like, this is such a misunderstanding. It's kind of crazy that we're using our resources for this right now. And then we go home and I'm thinking it's over. The next morning I wake up to posts and tags and, you're evil and you B word and C word and all the words. And I'm like, what's going on? We gave these items back. It was an honest misunderstanding. It was an honest mistake. Never tried to steal from this woman, and especially not medical items during this time. She had posted that we took some masks or gloves or whatever was in there out of this basket. We barely even looked at the basket, let alone took anything out. So ironically, to sum all this up, 5 minutes ago, my boyfriend called the woman and they came to a resolution. And now I feel like, wow, all this crazy social media situation was for nothing. And now we've got other people in the news doing very severe things, and I'm like, why are we wasting our time for this? But we came to a resolution, and it's all solved. But I cannot believe that it took people creating articles and me coming to your show having to defend myself. If you know me at all, if you go on my social media, you know that I'm prolific, especially right now, about trying to give back and help our community. I'm no Mother Teresa by any sort, but I've been encouraging people to do anything they can, whether it's donate clothes, give blood, reach out to your friends and family to stay connected, because, people are getting depressed. Why in the heck would I steal medical supplies, especially in this time? It just doesn't make sense.
Let me just ask you, Ashlee, why not look inside the basket before you guys drove off, and if it's medical supply, then say, maybe this has nothing to do with the dresser?
Well, the fact of the matter is, I can't change that now, but we didn't. We grabbed it. We were out doing errands. We were in London a few days prior, getting ready for my fight. Meanwhile, everyone back in the States were stockpiling on toilet paper and food and, getting their house ready for an, questionable, situation. Honestly, grabbed the basket, put it in the car, went out, went to the store, did grocery shopping, drove another hour. So hours later is when I actually realized what was in the basket. When we realized what was in the basket, I messaged that woman, Carmen, and said, I will gladly give these items back. I'm not a thief, and I'm definitely not going to steal from medical workers that are, risking their lives. That's it.
But did you give everything back?
Everything back. And so now
Okay.
the situation is that she thinks that we kept something,
Right.
but my boyfriend just got off the phone with her, and whether she thinks we kept something or we dropped something in the rain that night, we already came to an agreement that we're going to make a donation in her name to a hospital, because what more can we do? We can't give back something we didn't take. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand. But you do concede that it was probably not the best idea to take that basket, right?
Honestly, I understand that it was, for me, stupid to take the basket and assume that it was free, but sometimes you like, I do this all the time. You put stuff on the sidewalk, like, hey, all this is free. I usually put a sign on it, but all this is free, go ahead and take what you want. And that's kind of what we did. And I assumed, and that was my mistake. I messed up, honestly. I messed up. And I kind of think I messed up in the sense that I blocked her without giving her a reason, without kind of reading deep into her messages. I just saw the harassment kind of going on, like capital letters and all that, and just blocked it. But then as soon as I realized what was going on with her friend Carmen, who was speaking nice and calmly to me, I was ready to just be like, hey, and this was long before she called the cops, like, it wasn't like, oh no, the cops were involved, I'll give it back. No, it wasn't like that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you cleaning the air. So right now it's resolved. There's no police activity. There's no.
No,
Okay,
there was
nothing.
never even a police report filed. The police we talked to that night, he actually made like a joke. He's like, you want to take a picture with me? And I'm like, no, I think we're okay. So it's been resolved.
All right.
We
Thank you,
talked on
Ashlee.
the phone 5 minutes ago, and everything's good. Yeah. So
I
thank you,
appreciate
Ariel.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.